What up, players? It's Warboss Tay up in this mud. Today I've got a little unboxing to show you. It's the old Wurrzag model, and the reason I'm unboxing this isn't because Wurrzag is so awesome and totally cool, although the new sculpt for him is really just unbelievably fantastic. The reason I'm unboxing him is kind of twofold. The first reason is that the model, or the I guess what you would call the army entry of Wurrzag is you could use him as a great shaman and a savage orc shaman to lead your army, and that is either to lead your army or to just be, you know, a wizard in your army. And the trick that many Orc and Goblin players use, if you're a new Orc and Goblin player you might not know this, and if you're an old one or a veteran then you definitely know it, is to get one of these guys, the Great Orc or Savage Orc Shaman, Great Shaman, and then give him this magic item, the Shrunken Head, which increases their ward save or their magical, you know, like armor save. I guess it's called their ward save, from rolling a 6 in case they get wounded to rolling a 5 or a 6. So that's like a 1 in 3 chance of saving every wound that gets their way. So it's really effective. It really makes them really strong, really powerful, and makes these Great Shaman really desirable in Orc and Goblin armies. So you might notice that he's only got one leg. The other one is here on this metal tab, and I think this guy comes in fine cast now. I was at a store where I got it for, I got the metal one. And here's let's take a look at the mask. Just look at that awesome orky expression. The other reason why I'm unboxing him is because I'm planning to do a how to paint Savage Orcs tutorial, and all of the Savage Orcs that I have are already base coated in the old Narlock green, so I'm redoing my paint scheme, and I thought this would be a great model to demonstrate the techniques on. You don't have to get this model to use the paint scheme on. You could use any Savage Orc model, because the skin and most of these, you know, the wood, the bone, the fetishes are usually all the same. So we're all going to be painting up to the same standard. Wurrzag has a magic spell, and this spell is very specific to him, and it turns one enemy wizard on the battlefield, or there's a chance of turning one enemy wizard into one of these guys, a squig. So they include a little squig to go on the base, and these squigs have like these little warts and this little mohawk, and squigs, I love squigs, they're so fun. They're so much fun. And now let's take a look at the actual Wurrzag model. He's got a pouch over here full of little trinkets and doodads. He's got a little skull fetish right over there, little bird skull fetish. Some teeth hanging from his belt. He's got this wicked looking dagger. Nice. I'm probably gonna do that in my blue crystal theme, but you could also paint it up as stone. And he's got this really nice looking reptilian skin pelt cloak. Or cape, I'm sorry. And it just looks so awesome. So let's put this guy together. The thing you gotta use for metal models, which you also use for fine cast, thankfully, you can use the same thing, is, get this little piece of flash off, is super glue. So I've got some super glue, so we'll just put this guy together right now, right here. There's not really much flash I could see just taking the guy out of the package. With fine cast it's going to be a lot different, because sometimes they come attached to these frames of fine cast, or most times they do, and you have to clip them out of that before you can even get to cleaning. So let's see if we can get him onto his base, if he'll even fit. Yeah, so this is a great fit for Wurrzag, right into his base, which is always good. Sometimes they make the tabs too wide or too thin, rarely too thin, but sometimes they also make the tabs so that they're too thick this way, and you can't even push them into the slots for these slotted bases. So thankfully this one is not like that. So I'm going to be using, for super glue, I usually use Gorilla Super Glue. It's always worked really well for me in the past. The thing with super glue that most people forget is that it takes a lot longer to set than rubber cement. I mean the liquid cement for plastic models. So usually you have to hold it for a good 15-20 seconds, half a minute before it forms that bond. James Bond. But this model was released when the new Orcs and Goblins came out, and everybody at my game store thought it was so cool and so awesome and had to have one. And then they bought it the day the book dropped. And then they got home and they looked at the rules and they saw that, oh, this Wurrzag special character model isn't all that great. So then it went from buying this model to use as Wurrzag, because everybody was like, oh no, don't use Wurrzag because his rules aren't that great as compared to how much points he costs on the table to field him. Kind of like who's that other character, Bragg the Gutsman. You know, the model looks fantastic, but the in-game application of the character isn't that great. So people would just buy Wurrzag and just use him as a great shaman. And everything was right with the world again. I use these Privateer Press Formula P3 clippers because they've got this handle that's really good on the hands. I've also been using this metal one as like a hobby pair of clippers, but those kind of would hurt your hands and make you really squeeze too hard, and they didn't have this really soft, easy to use handle grip. Why am I talking about my clippers? Because you need a good pair of clippers. It's not that essential now that they don't have metal models in Games Workshop, but it's always good to have a good pair of clippers. Now you can get away with like a fairly decent pair of clippers, but if you do other model ranges like War Machine, Horse that still use metal, then it's best if you have a good pair. Alright, let's see where this leg goes. Looks like this leg slots back here. How does this work? Huh. I see a little square for it to slot into back here, but I don't see how to fit this leg in Wurrzag. Okay. That looks like it. I forgot how I love metal models. I love to paint them. Forgot how kind of finicky they could be when you're putting it together. Kind of like doing this cheerleader kick. Hi-ya! Okay, there it is. Yeah, there's a really specific way of joining the leg to the hip here. And it just went. Ah! I don't really miss this aspect of using metal. Remember what I used to do was put a little bit of green stuff to help stick the model in place before the glue set. This video is about to run out of time. If this guy isn't down yet, which I don't think it can, it's gonna be, I might just come back after holding it in place. Give it another couple minutes. Ish. Yeah, when all these new Savage Orc sculpts came out, it was like dream come true because our old Savage Orc sculpts were just so old. They were static. They look like something out of the Flintstones. These new ones look a lot more characterful. It's like you have to find the perfect position to hold these things. And there we have it, players. Look at that guy. He looks hilarious. I love the kicked up foot. I love how I angled his head to the side. You don't have to. You could have him looking straight forward, but kind of gives him that, like, you know how dogs and cats kind of like tilt their head to the side when they're curious. I want to say, if you have a chance to get this metal model, you're gonna have a hard time just super gluing the hand to the socket because of just how small the surface area is. So what I did was I angled the staff so that's kind of leaning against the cape and against the forearm, and then I put glue along the cape and the forearm as well. But yeah, that was really tough. It was also hard holding the leg at this angle. I'm sure it's easier with fine cast, the way fine cast is. You know, it's not as slick as this old metal model is, but I love the look of it. He looks so goofy and cartoony, and I'm just so happy with it. So I'm not going to glue the squig on to the base. I'm actually going to give the squig its own base. In case I turn an enemy wizard into a squig, I'll use this as the model to represent him. But like I said, I probably won't be using this guy as Wurrzag very much. It'll just be an option if I get lucky. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, or not tutorial, but this unboxing and review. I want to say that the flash was pretty hard to clean up, and the mold lines are pretty hard too. I forgot how hard it is to clean mold lines off of these old models. There's a particularly nasty one that I still haven't gotten to yet on the skulls up here and the fetishes on top of his staff. And yeah, I think that was it. There's just a lot of flash everywhere else, as I'm sure you all saw, but what a great looking model, what a great looking character, but unfortunately his stats and his rules and his points value just don't do him justice. So stay tuned for my Warboss painting tutorial on how I'm going to paint him up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.